Do you get it? I said chilling because the thing was because it's called the chill because it's the chill. Also, this makes me want more Nomad of Nowhere more than anything. Same, dude. I miss Nomad. It was such a fucking cute show, except for when it got kind of intense. It was a really good show, and I'm very sad we don't have more of it. The fairy tale style really does feel very Nomad. That hurts. If you've not seen the first season, number one, don't, because it will make you sad that there's not more of it, but also do because it's good. It's a lot better than you think it's going to be. It takes a couple episodes to get started. I think it's episode 5. Which was with the was Undertaker or whatever the hell his name was? It's not like the wrestler dude. The dude who the dude who like buried people. That was the one that was like, "Oh, okay. This is intense." And then fucking the El Rey episode happens. You're like, "Oh fuck, this is a whole thing now." There's a story in this, and then it just goes from there. It's very good. It's a very good show. Hey, Eddie! Eddie's back. We like Eddie. It's another episode of fucking RWBY Fairy Tales, The Hunter's Children. These children.
Today's show is brought to you by
Edward. Stop. I'll express your VPN. Anyway, fuck does that even mean? Anyway. He's staring directly into my soul. He's a very good-looking man. Eddie, you look great. You look great. We love Eddie. Anyway, I need to get this off my screen, though, because he is staring directly into my fucking soul. Anyway, RWBY Fairy Tales. First episode we just did was The Grim Child. I enjoyed it. I didn't know really what to say, because it's mostly like, hey, little girl kills her brother, and then the brother gets infected by a Grim, kill everybody else. Fairy tales. The moral of this story is, don't be an asshole. Do not push your brother into the dark woods filled with demons. Which is a lesson we all must learn. I did explain how I did accidentally, but not, I did very intentionally when I was younger, shoot my brother in the back with a bow and arrow. Could have killed him. Kids are horrible monsters. They're the worst. You were too. Just remember, anytime you're like, no, everyone. You are a terrible, horrible person. Everything about you is garbage. So am I. So is everyone else. We're always trying to get better. Anyway, hopefully, if you're not fucking up, you're trying to get better. Anyway. We're here to watch episode 2. It's The Hunter's Children. I know literally nothing about this episode. None at all. I legitimately have no fucking clue what this is about, what it's for, who it's about, what it's with, how it do. So we're just going to rock and roll with it. I don't know how it's going to fit into the story. I don't know how the Grim Child will necessarily fit into anything other than just, it's a story that exists in the world explaining a Grim. A Grim we may never see in the series. If we do see in the series, that's bad, because it looks bad. How do you fight that? What does it even do? I can't fully tell, but it's pretty shit. It's those more like, what am I trying to say? It's those more almost like Lovecraftian style Grim. The ones that aren't just, ooh, spooky monster. More that's like, oh, this thing has like some sort of terrifying power that it can use to like manipulate and fuck your life over. It's like the Apathy. The Apathy is just a borderline loser-ass fucking dipshit zombie. But it just does go full Serenity on your ass. And you don't, what do you do? What do? You don't. You just die. I really hope Team Funky is alive. Just remembered because the Apathy show up on that battlefield. And as far as I know, we don't know if they're alive or not. I want to believe. Don't do them like that. Ivory and Cobalt, I'm not too terribly worried about. I'm not too fussed, but Flint, that's my boy. Fucking Neon, that's wife. I don't know why, but I do believe she is wife. I stand by that. She's obnoxious as shit. But she's cute as hell. And she seems like a cool person, generally speaking. Volume 8 hurt a lot, didn't it? Hopefully this is less painful, because I know Volume 9 won't be. Anyway, let's see. The Hunter's Children. Again, I don't know what this is about. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started, because Eddie is, again, staring into my very soul. And as lovely as your eyes are, good sir. Stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, stellarific-tastic, wonderful. I need to get it off my fucking screen. We're gonna go ahead and do this. It's the Hunter's Children. RWBY Failtales? It sounds like some weird fucking thing you'd see on the CCT. RWBY Failtales. This huntsman jumped off a bridge thinking he was gonna do a cool slashy spin and instead got eaten by a fucking Grimm. Oh damn. Like it's you know there's some you know there was definitely so many dipshits doing it's just a prank, bro, out in the fucking woods and getting eaten by a Grimm and putting it up on whatever their equivalent of YouTube would be. Like, you know it's there. Human beings are mistakes. We talked about this. Every one of us. Since the dawn of time, humanity is a broken construct. Anyway, I'm just saying it definitely happened. What are you gonna? You can't sue the Grimm. I'm just saying, like, you're not gonna get damages paid back for you for that one. You just get eaten. And that's sad. Anyway, the Hunter's Children. I don't know what the fuck it's about. We're about to see. I assume it's going to be children related to that of a hunter. Will it be someone we know? Maria. Ozpin. Will it be another Ozpin thing? Will it be those children of the Ozpin with the glassesman who built the cane who built the cane in the new form? Did they have silver eyes? I don't know. I can't tell. You didn't get a very close-up look, but they could have. Their eyes were silvery colored. That doesn't mean what that means, though. Eddie, do you have silver? No. We're gonna go and watch this. Fucking hell. In 3... It's problematic because they're short, and I don't know what to say. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Today's show is brought
Am I recording? Good. ExpressVPN.
Protect your sensitive data with an extra layer of security at expressvpn.com.
I will protect myself with a... I was gonna say with my hoodie, but my hoodie's up on the door. I can't do that.
Long ago, there lived a hunter in the swamps of Mistral.
Ooh.
This was no ordinary hunter, though.
Oh, look at this man.
Hunter of Grimm.
It is definitely not the other guy. This man is a badass. His poor brain. It's like a sword, flintlock, grapple,
Father,
axe thing combo. Ooh.
why are you the only one who hunts them?
My semblance tells me when Grimm are near. I have a duty to protect them.
Is that my boy?
All of you will use your semblances to help others too.
Well, that'll be easy,
maybe. I actually don't
because
know.
mine's the best. It leads me to whatever I need most. Sounds
Ooh.
pretty useful to me.
Do you really need that bread then?
Strong. I can link ours with other people. It's easily the strongest.
Hunting Grimm isn't just about strength.
Interesting.
I can use my semblance to calm people down. You don't need to be strong if you don't attract Grimm in the first place.
Similar to Wren's. I like it.
That. I can hide from Grimm in plain sight.
Similar to
You can
Wren's.
keep hiding with your eyes closed while the rest of us do the
Cool.
work.
Don't bully the child. That's
There is
important.
danger in relying too much on one's own abilities,
This is true.
especially when danger surrounds us on all sides.
Gotta work
I
together.
would have hoped
Family.
your mother taught you that.
Oh. I really like their designs. I love her design with the big floofy fucking doodahs and
Anyone
shit.
seen Father today?
Also, the other little one's adorable
He
as well.
said he was going deeper into the swamps.
Boy, just look
Find out
clean.
why the Grimm have been showing up more.
Oh no.
I have some bad news, kids.
Yeah, it's gonna happen eventually. It's that kind of work.
What are we going to do?
It is interesting that there's 4 of them.
Protect our home, like father.
It's not safe here or anywhere else. We have to find others and protect them too.
Father was trying to learn more about the Grimm. We should learn more too, so we can be better prepared to face them.
Why does it matter? Father and Mother risked their lives for the village. Look what happened to them!
We need to fight back. Stop being foolish. You're not
As they had countless times before, they argued long into the night.
We have to go help others. We have to think this through.
In the end,
Negative emotions, guys.
Do what Father wants us to do.
they went their separate ways.
It's the wrong path. You gotta work together. Squad
Oldest
up.
daughter took up her father's mantle as protector of the village.
Yeah, someone's gotta.
But as attacks increased, the people sought refuge elsewhere. The oldest son searched for
I do
more
like you did
villages,
get to see a faunus in there as well.
but the Grimm had already gotten to them. When he finally found others to protect, not even his semblance was enough to overcome the Grimm. The youngest daughter set off to learn more about the Grimm. But without confronting them, there was still much she didn't know.
I think the moral here is the reliance on unity. Because on their own, they can't accomplish what they need to. They have to be together to do it. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses. But on their own, they're not going to be able to get anything done. Actually, I really like the way the Beowulfs look in this. This is a cool design with the art style.
How's your adventure going?
Aww.
They found new prey.
Then we should help.
Don't worry. We'll find a new home soon. Please, we have to stay calm.
Y'all gotta fucking breathe. That shit only gonna make it worse.
There's too many.
Miss me?
I'm sorry for being stubborn. There were too many Grimm for me to fight alone. Without you all, I lost direction. No wonder my semblance led me right back to my family. My true home.
I'm sorry for leaving too. I'm stronger with all of you at my side. If we stick together, we can overcome anything.
I was wrong.
Yeah, definitely a
Sometimes the
story
best way to learn is to
focusing on building unity on
I was
Remnant.
the biggest fool of all. I was so selfish. I lost sight of what was most important.
Very much the defiance of
Father
Salem and
died
her
because
division
he was fighting
bullshit.
Grimm alone. I think we're better off as a team.
Damn right. A team of 4.
For the
We
rest
shall
of their
call
days,
it.
the hunter's children defended
I don't
the
know your
new
names.
village they built
It's hard to make a
together
team.
and welcomed anyone seeking refuge from the Grimm. And often, over the years, the siblings ventured out into the world to offer help wherever they could, inspiring others with their bravery, heart, wisdom, and humility. May we learn that working together, we can surely accomplish more than each of us can alone.
I like that. I like that a lot. Again, that one has a very easy and
Hey,
simple...
we hope you enjoyed that episode of RWBY
I
Fairy Tale.
did,
To experience
Edders.
more
I
folklore from the world of Remnant,
apologize
you
for
can
that.
actually pick up the
Let's see, what names? I actually don't recognize any of these names, I don't think. Oh, I mean, Shannon, obviously. It'd actually be very strange if I didn't recognize that name. Tracy Frank, Gary Scales, Gikunda, Dakota, Matt Sinclair, Jib Aguilar Kendrick. Yeah, I am not familiar with any of those names. I'll have to look those up, see if they've done anything else. Interesting. It's cool though. Yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed that one. Again, it's very simple. It doesn't add like a huge bit of lore to the universe or anything, other than I think it very much works in the thing you have to remember about fairy tales in RWBY is they're things that are 9 times out of 10 seemingly created by Ozpin to explain something in the world or to justify it. It's the same thing I very much believe, and it still confuses me how many people really stand by it. Again, as far as I know, there could have been a Q&A somewhere, or I haven't gotten the last couple commentaries, and I need to. I'm a fucking fake fan. I've watched RWBY more times than I've breathed, but I've not watched the last few RWBY commentaries. Unless I've missed something, I do find it interesting how many people, I've talked about this on Twitter before, how many people glom onto, like, the original Four Maidens fairy tale over top of Jin's retelling of the world of Remnant. Because, like, for example, like, in Who the Maidens Are, I stand by 10,000%. The Maidens are Oz and Salem's kids. That's what they are. That's what they were. They were there, they died, they inherited the trait from their father that allowed them to pass on in a similar vein. It's obviously a little different. The rules are slightly different. Theirs is like whoever's in their thought last, whereas Oz is with a like-minded soul. It could be fucking anyone. He's never met Oscar before, but, you know, presumably he'd never met Ozpin before either. But, like, it's interesting how many people glom onto the original fairy tale because it was what you heard first, despite the fact it was told by a proven to be incredibly unreliable narrator, a constant liar. And again, I like Ozma, but the motherfucker is not good with the truth. He's always been very bad at it, and hopefully he's getting better. Especially after Volume 8 with their, like, the trust is a risk conversation, he will be able to trust people more, and they will be more understanding of his inability to say fucking words that mean shit. Again, I love Oz, but he's a fuck up. But yeah, I always find it really interesting how many people glom onto that, when to me it seems very, very obvious that that's why that fairy tale exists, is to explain the maidens away and to make the world believe it is a fairy tale, rather than it is not a real thing that exists, and definitely not they're my fucking kids, you know? And again, that's the thing, is like that's what fairy tales in RWBY seem to be, is like they are altered versions of a story specifically there to explain away something, or to again, the way I kind of think of it, especially with like the maidens, is if someone walks in a room and go, hey, holy shit, there's 4 fucking people with these magic fucking powers, everyone can be like, it's a fucking fairy tale, dude. My mom told me that when I was a kid. That's not real. You're fucking crazy. Shut up. Basically, like, that is how I view that, and that's why I believe the Four Maidens fairy tale exists the way it does. Obviously, I'm going to be very curious to see the differences for the Girl in the Tower and the Lost Fable as we heard it, because I think that will help build onto my point. But even here with this, it's a way to explain away things in the world, not for the audience as much as for the people on Remnant. And it's also for Ozpin to be like, hey, these are some values you should probably focus on. Like with this, it's I very much get that it is Ozpin creating a fairy tale about like, hey, there's these 4 kids, and they worked, and they lost their parents, so they gotta work together, and it's a group of 4, and it's unity and humanity coming together, and woohoo, yeah. Because the world's fucked if we don't. Because they come back and go bzow, and then everyone's gonna die. I still stand by. They should come back so that we can tell them to fuck off again. Because they're the worst. They're terrible. They're such dicks. Fuck those 2. Anyway, my point is, that very much seems to be how fairy tales work in the world of RWBY, and I think it's very important to understand that, and why it is, and I think that helps build as to their importance. Not even so much to explain something to the audience, to explain to the people of Remnant things, and I think that in itself is a hugely interesting way of viewing the world, not in how something is relayed to the audience, but how things are relayed to the people in the story itself. I think that's something that in general gets lost in media sometimes, is sometimes things don't happen for the audience. Sometimes things are happening for the people in the world, and that's why it's like, I find criticisms of some things like maybe it's like horror or something like that, but like blah 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 isn't scary because da 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 da, because I know da da da, or this or this or this, and I'm like, that's great, completely fucking irrelevant. That's scary for them because they're the ones who are there, and they're the ones who are gonna get eaten, you know, like it's. Or you get things like just the disconnect of where a character's mindset will be as to where an audience's mindset will be, and the difference in time and stuff like that, and the difference in prior knowledge and shit like that. And it's easy to forget, like you get a lot of people who sometimes who would jump on like the RWBY crew for not understanding, like, hey, maybe when Jin said the thing about like, hey, you can't destroy Salem, well, maybe she means da-da-da-da-da instead. But, like, there's no reason they would necessarily jump to that, you know? Like, number 1, they're in the moment. Number 2, they just got their fucking world rocked. Number 3, like, it just happened. Like, I don't know, it's I always find it really interesting how some people sometimes forget context. Context is an extraordinarily important thing. I've moved on to an entirely different topic from what we were starting at. But context is an extraordinarily important thing in fiction, and I think a lot of the times it can be missed. And it's extremely important because it's literally why shit happens. It's what that means. So, yeah, I don't know. I find it interesting. Then you also get like stuff like people wonder like why RWBY was so fucking mad or something like that. And you're like, well, I want you to imagine you were in their shoes. Your entire life was building to this thing. And then that thing wasn't a thing, actually, and you were wrong. Fuck do you do now? You probably implode a little bit, because that's what happens. I can't handle... When... I ordered McDonald's like a couple months ago, and they gave me literally nothing that I asked for. I ordered like a whole like meal thing over here, and some extra stuff for on the side, and I was gonna save for like tomorrow and stuff like that, or the next day or whatever. And they gave me 2 fucking Happy Meals. I didn't get that at all. I don't know. I didn't get a drink. I didn't get any of that shit. And my mind imploded. I didn't know what to do. I freaked the fuck out. I was trying to figure out what was going on. Like, hey, usually I don't complain about this stuff, but what the fuck is going on? Like, this is very different from... And, like, I can't cope with that. And you expect them to be able to magically cope with that? And it's things like... People are like, blah, blah, blah. This doesn't make sense because... Well, you know, fucking, you know, if I was in this situation, this would never happen. Bullshit. Like, you get people like, another one was, Volume 8 was, like, fucking Yang falling. And people were like, well, I would have saved that. I would already been running. The fuck you would have. You're out of your mind. Like people mad at RWBY because she didn't bolt there despite the fact she got thrown on the fucking floor, hit the ground, and went, what the fuck just happened? And by the time she looked over, her sister was off the fucking edge, and she's fucking freaking. She doesn't know what is going on. And it's not even like nobody did. Blake was bolting already because she did notice beforehand. I don't know, it's those things like the importance of understanding the difference between you being some asshole in a chair and being a character in a universe is very important. Which is to go the really long way around of me justifying my complaining about people complaining about my favorite show. That's why I think something like this is valuable, because it does kind of help to build and explain on things for the audience, but mostly through how it is built on and explained for the characters themselves. And I think that is really interesting. Again, as a writer, this shit is really fascinating and important and cool to me. Especially as a writer, I understand it. I get it. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. The characters, their brains are things too, and you have to account for that. You have to understand that they're humans, and they have to learn things, and they have to... The things they do are backed up by things, and are built on by things. You have things like this that help explain that. I think it's cool. I think it helps build for probably justification for why Oz went with the four-player system, if you will, in a team. I'm also curious if the story is entirely fictional, if it is based on an actual family of huntsmen, or on a family of kids, and he then saw that and took that. Could Ozpin have even been the hunter? And then he died and was like, oh fuck, left my fucking kids. That sucks. Gotta go get some more, I guess. I don't know. I'm very curious, but it's one of those things that I don't think we'll ever find out about, but they're interesting things to think about, you know? Anyway, I thought it was cool. I like that episode. Again, I'm going to be tucked over here in the corner the entire time, so I hope that doesn't bother anybody. I just keep forgetting to move back and forth, but also because it was pissing me off earlier, so I'm going to sit over here in the corner looking like a boss bitch. Anyway, point is, I think it's cool. I'm interested. I like that episode. Again, I like the way the Grimm were done. I like the different semblances. There's a lot of... I like seeing how... While you don't have the same semblances, generally speaking, like I think the closest thing we've ever had to like a direct copy of a semblance is would be Carmine and Glinda, because they both have, telekinesis. Just they have different, varying levels of it. Like Carmine seemed to be able to, like, I can move sand and create like dust tornadoes and shit like that, whereas Glinda can just rebuild a fucking building. But other than that, it's the same basic power, but on different levels, And I think that sort of thing is interesting. God, do you think we're gonna see Carmine or Bertalik or the Caspians? I feel like if we do, I don't think we will, but it would be very cool. Be interesting. Twit'd be neat, anyway. I fucking love these books, dude. God, Roman Holiday was so good. If you haven't read these books, After the Fall and Before Dawn are great. They're really enjoyable. They're cool for getting to see Vacuo. They're great for building on Sun and Coffee's developments and stuff like that. You get to see a bunch of cool stuff with other survivors or not survivors of the Fall of Beacon. It's really cool. The Crown is a cool antagonistic force. Like I dig them. The two main antagonists there are really fucking interesting and have busted to fuck semblances. So it would be very interesting to see, especially like can you fucking imagine if Homegirl fucking showed up as like the Summer Maiden? What the fuck? That girl is already busted out of her fucking mind with her semblance. Can you imagine? That'd be neat. Anyway, still remember when I was going through that book and I hit a point where I was like, huh, their names are da-da-da. It's the crown. Oh my god. I was so proud of myself when I realized, like, it's not complicated. Put those names together and the crown, and it's easy. Especially what happens to the boy. And it's like, oh, obvious, you moron. I don't know. It's a good book, but Roman Holiday is fucking god tier. It legitimately is phenomenal. Again, especially as a huge Neo fan. Trivia is the shit. That was great. I love it. I'm only popping up, like, I'm hiding the other stuff in the other ones because that's like late game shit. Trivia is like the first 5 seconds of that fucking book you're talking about her. So I don't know. It's so fucking good that I really enjoyed that book. Anyway, read all that shit. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, and I will hop on the next episode, and we will enjoy RWBY Fairy Tales together and stuff. Until then, though, tools, doers, lemons, everybody. Bye. I like this. I'm liking it so far. I wasn't expecting to be able to talk about it that much. Context. It's important.